Hello people of YouTube, Rich from PCGamesN here and I'm joined by Ben. And welcome to another PCGamesN news update. Today, the news is the World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth beta. The client is up.
The client is up. The beta hasn't started, sort of, but it sort of has started.
Okay.
So basically what this means is that the server will now serve you the client if you ask it nicely, which means that all the data miners can go, hey, give us that, and it'll go, yeah, sure, here you go.
Right.
And then they will dig into it, and they'll data mine the models, and they'll data mine the spell changes, and they'll get the music, and they'll get the storylines that they haven't hidden away properly yet, and so on and so on and so forth.
Blizzard presumably know this is going to
happen.
happen.
Like this is a planned thing. Like this isn't like a whoa, we got into the servers, we hacked it, type deal. Yeah, basically it means that if you can't play it, there isn't a login server for you to log into yet, and then access it and make a character and start playing through the new content. But the guys who have been doing this for 10 years at this point can download it. They can dig into all the files, look at the stuff that is there that is public. So character models is a really good example because that shows you, what characters are getting major updates in this expansion, who's had a nice big model update, because they're going to be in a lot of cutscenes,
they're going to be
or they're going to be main characters of the plot, exactly. Or new mounts, new pets, new enemies, bosses, that sort of thing. They'll work all that sort of stuff out. There's also music, always a good thing for Blizzard. They do pretty good soundtracks.
Sure.
And there'll be broadcast text that they've either forgotten to or deliberately left open that you can then maybe see some storyline implications from.
And this seems soon, right? Because it's not been too long since the last update in Legion.
Yeah.
Is this off kilter for the usual schedule?
It's off kilter for the schedule up until Legion.
Right.
But from Legion, they made it really clear that this is just how it's going to work now. You're going to get about 2 weeks where there's going to be stuff in the live game and there isn't going to be stuff on the PTR, and then they're going to put something onto the PTR, and there's going to be new content there, something for people to talk about, and that's been true pretty much all the way through Legion. They announced the first patch for Legion a week before the game came out. They started talking about that. It went onto the PTR like within a couple of weeks of the game coming out, and then people could start looking at that content if they wanted to, and if they were bored of what was on the live servers, there was something else for them to discuss. It's worked really well. It's worked really well at getting them headlines, keeping them relevant, and keeping players interested in what's coming next. Because people will, even if you don't really need to sub to play on the PTR, but a lot of these people don't play on the PTR. They're just interested in what's coming next, and they'll stay sub to the game because they're keeping it fresh in their mind, and they won't want to take a break because they're like, maybe I'm not particularly hype about the content I've been doing for the last 4 weeks, but I know there's something that's just down the line.
And we're
in
about
this case, it's an expansion.
And we're about to learn what's in it with all this data mining coming out. So
yeah, exactly.
What do we know? What can we expect to learn?
So, so far, lots of new mounts, lots of new music, like I said, and there is a few storyline hints. This stuff is, so it went live on the test server about 5 hours ago, very early in the morning for us here in the UK, right at the end of Blizzard's workday over there.
There have been hints dropped in about what's coming next throughout Legion, right? This is the old gods.
The old god stuff, exactly. So there is some stuff that's been data mined surrounding that. Looks like there's a new old god that they've brought into it. I cannot remember his name. It's something with an apostrophe in it, as they all are.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to see a lot more of that sort of stuff, and over the next 24 hours. That data mining is not instant. So, they've got all the systems in place and they do it as fast as they can, but someone still has to go through and read it and go, oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is, something that's relevant to people. Oh, this is something they probably should have kept hidden or whatever. And they also need to, extract all of the model files, get nice screenshots of them up, check what all of that means, do comparisons between all the class changes, which are also on there. And a lot of that stuff is also, super non-final. Like, the class changes are very clearly non-final. Lots of nonsensical data changes. Lots of changes that are clearly kind of the first thing you would do while testing a new system. And, yeah, it's an alpha stage of a beta process. And people are going to use those two terms interchangeably, but basically alpha means the first bit. And then beta will be the rest of it up until launch.
And what does this mean for launch, for a release date? When would you expect?
So the Legion one was 9 months long and was long. That was longer than or it felt long. I haven't compared exactly how long the beta phases of different expansions were, but it certainly felt like a long one because they really wanted to get it right after Warlords of Draenor, which I think most people would agree is probably the worst WoW expansion there's been.
Yeah, the low point.
Certainly the low point in the game in terms of every measurable metric. Players, player enthusiasm, excitement, etc. So it could be 9 months. So, when does that take us to? Around October. It could be a lot shorter than that. And we've seen in Legion them put stuff up, and then they're like, okay, test this, test this, test this, test this, and it's good to go, and they put it out there. There was some more stuff data mined on the live servers the other day to do with collector's edition items. Those are only usually put into the game when that stuff's coming up, which means, pre-orders and that sort of thing. We don't know yet, but it would indicate to me that we're going to see the expansion definitely this year.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty expected anyway. They haven't said it, but it was pretty expected. And probably pretty soon.
Okay, interesting stuff. Thank you for that update. So plenty more to learn and plenty more that's going to emerge about the next WoW expansion over the next 24 hours or so. Exciting times. Keep tuned to PCGamesN.com where you'll learn all of the new stuff coming up in the next update. And so we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.